Wanted to start a video today on how to clean up your cast iron. And this is if it's a cast iron that has been well seasoned. Excuse the dishwasher in the background. We do need clean dishes. We've got a big family. Anyway, so I had used this cast iron skillet. It has been seasoned. So last night I cooked corned beef hash in it, and got a slight layer stuck on the bottom. And I was too lazy to clean it up last night, so I just left it, let it dry on the stove last night. So this morning I come in, I run some water in it, and I stick it on the burner of the stove. And on my stove it's kind of different, but a little over medium heat, to where it's just starting to barely bubble. You can kind of see the bubbles. And this will allow it to kind of lift that stuff off of the seasoned part and make it unstick. So I'll show you whenever I come back in a few minutes. I'm going to scrape on a little bit with a spatula, and you'll see what it looks like then. Alright, I'm back. I've got a spatula here, and the reason I am using a silicone spatula instead of something like hard like a spoon is because when you use something abrasive, it will scratch into your seasoning, so you don't want to scratch that layer off. So you can use a wooden spoon, plastic. I try to stay away from plastic stuffs, even though I know that this is silicone. But either use something wooden or use plastic or silicone, and you can just kind of keep stirring it, and then you'll just let it set again, because there's still some stuff down the very center where it was really stuck on, and it will just come right off without having to scrub or scour. And then at the end we might still have to go and put a little salt in the bottom. We'll drain the water off, put a little salt, and scrub with just a damp cloth, and that might get the last bit of the residue off, and then we'll re-season it and be set to go for the next time. So we'll be right back. Okay, y'all, I'm back. While I was waiting for this to settle, as you can see, you can't really see anything right now, so I am going to have to pour this off to see how well the bottom has come clean. But while I was waiting, I just decided to fix my breakfast and get my hot tea started. So I'm going to heat up my tea, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to pause the video and drain this pan of water off, and we will be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. I just poured the water off. You can see the pan still steaming just a little bit. This is all that was left in the bottom of that pan, and it had a pretty good amount of scum left on the bottom from that corned beef hash. So let me show you how easily the stuff just comes off. And I do not have it on heat, but since it's cast iron, of course, it's drying quickly and starting to stick again. But see how that's just coming right off, because the pan is well seasoned. And so we want to get this removed without removing our previous seasoning, and then we'll add more seasoning back on top. So I'm just going to scrape that off, and the rest of this that's left in this pan here, I'm just going to take a little bit of regular table salt, just the cheapest salt you can find. It's still kind of coarse, and I'm just going to scrub away, and I'll be back and show you that. Alrighty, we're back. I'm just going to take, like I said earlier, just regular table salt, sprinkle that on there, and since it's fairly cheap, I just use a lot. And I try to use a lint-free cloth, so right here I've got a microfiber cloth. And I will try to do this without shaking the camera too much. And I just get it a little wet. I still had some water left around the edges of the pan. And I do scrub the edges of the pan, because that'll clean off any little bits of debris. And we're just going to take and scrub. And I'm going to wipe this clear. You can see that is taking a lot of it off, but there's still just a little bit left here. So I'm going to add a little bit more water, just a little bit, enough to wet the salt down so it really becomes a scrub, kind of like when you do a facial scrub. We're going to do a pan scrub on our pan. So let me get my cloth just a little bit wet. Might have to add some more salt, and I will be right back. Alright, we're back, and I'm going to get this a little wet again. It is working a lot better. You can see I've moistened the pan, and it's going to take a little bit of elbow grease because when I poured the water out, since I was doing the video, I had too much time between pouring the water out and getting the video on with the salt. Kind of bake that stuff back on there again, and if you have that and you don't have the strength to get that off, because some days I don't, then put some water back in there and put it on the stove just again, a little bit of water. But I think I'm golden here. I think I have got this all where it needs to be. So I'm just going to gently scrub on the sides here with the salt, take off any corned beef hash that might be lurking on the sides here, kind of clean that up. And let me dump this out and give it a rinse. Sounds like my cup of tea is ready. Nothing like a nice warm cup of tea first thing in the morning. Alright guys, now take a look at that. Don't see anything stuck on the bottom of that. Let me give it a wipe with a towel, dry towel. Bring it back. And as you can see guys, there is nothing stuck. And it's got that nice sheen to it, and it's ready for me to apply another round of olive oil. A lot of times I like to use some bacon grease that I keep in my refrigerator, just to re-season it again. And a couple ways you could do that. You can either put it back on your burner on that same heat setting, medium to little medium high, to where it's brought to a smoking point, and you just re-season it and then turn it off and let it cool. Now some people, they'll turn it back on. I'm so busy at home, I've got a lot of kids and I homeschool, so I'm just doing good just to get it re-seasoned. But sometimes you can also coat it down, get it heated up, coat it down with your oil of your choosing, and then stick it in the oven at 350 degrees for an hour. And then turn it off and let it cool down with the oven, and it'll be perfectly seasoned and ready to go again. So there you guys go. A pretty stuck on mess, but no need to fear. If your pan is really good and seasoned, it'll come clean just like this. So thanks for watching.